I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Yeah, where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here?
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to, of course, another live stream where we, as always, will run through the Bitcoin technical analysis. We will take a look at what is currently going on with Bitcoin. Of course, you know, what the next trades I am looking for as well. That is, you know, the most important point. So, of course, we will look at the next trades that I am possibly interested in taking on Bitcoin, of course. So, yeah, if that does all sound interesting, then please do make sure that you smash that thumbs up button. It really helps me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this content to you. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel as well. So, yeah. Enough of that. Let's jump into the analysis. Let's take a look at what is going on, because we are still looking like we want to take out all-time high once again. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's take a look at what's going on, and let's take a look at the next trades that, of course, I am interested in taking. So yeah, let's get into it. So Bitcoin right now, $88,800. Okay, so we've seen, of course, a lovely rise, as I'm sure everybody is aware, on the price of Bitcoin. And you know, I was actually trying to take advantage of this rise very early on, all the way back down here. So I did actually enter into a long trade. So if we take a look at the Discord, you can see just took a long trade off of the SFP. Okay, this was, of course, a major level of interest for me, right? We had some lovely naked points of control here. We had, of course, the VWAP as well, that we respected absolutely amazingly. Bearing in mind, this was all before Trump was elected into house, right? This was all technical based, right? None of this was fundamentally based, right? This was all technical based, and you know, there was a huge area of support down here, and of course, we did see that trade entry trigger, okay, with that swing failure pattern. And for me, that was the perfect trade entry. Okay, and as you can see, we have seen that huge rise towards the upside. Unfortunately, did put my stop loss just a little bit too tight. And what happened is we did see price dip just a little bit below that stop loss, a few $100s below that stop loss. I did get stopped out, woke up in the morning and realized that, you know, I've got stopped out of this absolutely amazing trade. And then, of course, you know, we reclaimed the VWAP, which was a sign of strength, but that happened at midnight. So that was, yeah, just a whole series of unfortunate events, really, in all honesty. Yeah, I mean, that was a really good level, right? Of course, I spoke about this publicly. Again, you know, I've said this already, but yeah, Jay Rogers did get that re-entry. So congratulations to him on getting that re-entry on the long trade, which unfortunately I didn't get. Oh, something's about to fall off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so unfortunately didn't get that re-entry, but we were talking about this level publicly in the Discord as well. This was such a major level for me, and yeah, it's so nice, of course, to see that analysis being respected. Of course, we respected those naked points of control. We respected the VWAP. Yes, okay, we lost it ever so slightly, but we, of course, reclaimed it on those lower time frames, right? Okay, lost it, reclaimed it. That, like I said in the Discord, was a sign of strength. And what did we see? well, we saw this huge rise towards the upside. Yes, I understand Trump came in. Okay, fundamentally, that is, of course, very, very bullish. Okay, and we have that's sort of initially why we've seen a rise. But the entry of this trade was solely technical based, right? Purely technical based. Yeah, that's how I like to do it. I like to focus on the technicals, right? The technicals for me, okay, are the things that I listen to, and I do not listen to. I do not listen to any noise in terms of the fundamentals, right? So yeah, that's kind of what's happened, right? Of course, we know we've now seen 90K. Where are we rejecting from? We are rejecting from $90,000, right? Pretty much to the dollar, $162.50 off, right? But yeah, we are rejecting off of $90,000. Now, this, of course, is a huge psychological level. There's not much information up here. All we have is psychological levels. That's all we have above us, right? Yeah, possibility of absorption as well. But yeah, like I said, there's not really much information up here for us to grasp a good understanding of what's going on. So for me, it's a little bit of patience here, right? Let's remain patient. Let's wait. Okay, let's wait for price to give us a bit more information, because once we get a bit more information, okay, then of course we can take trades off of the information provided to us, right? So yeah, I really like this high up here. Okay, and I was speaking about the team in the daily market update earlier today about this level as well, right? This like 90K level, okay, because this is something that could have been traded. In all honesty, I didn't take this trade myself, right? But it could have been traded. So this was a possible bit of a short trade. I know the controversy around shorting here. Okay, I know everybody's going to give me smack for possibly considering a short trade from up here. But in all honesty, right, this is all I can look for. I can only look for short trades. Why? Because price is rising, right? If you know me by now, I only look for long trade. I only look for short trades on the move up, and I only look for long trades on the move down, right? So if you know me by now, you will know that, of course. So the only trade that I could have looked for up here is a short trade, right? And what we actually had was we had some confluence up here, in all honesty, right? We had, of course, all-time high at 89,894. Okay, so this is like our first bit of confluence, if you would like to call it that. And then, of course, you have $90,000, which I was talking about the team earlier, like all-time high. You can consider that as a level in itself, but we've got this, of course, $90,000 psychological level as well. So yeah, there's confluence there. Psychological 90,000, all-time high. You've got a pivot point as well, right? A major pivotal high, in my opinion, because it's all-time high, right? Of course, price pulls back a little bit. Then what did we do? Okay, we came back into that area, right? We came back into that area of, right, the all-time high. So we made a new all-time high, but at the same time, we came into $90,000, right? We came into $90,000. And at that time, what was going on in the order flow? So we take a look at the order flow, what was happening, right? We can see 127 million longs opened up here, okay? We had then 33 million longs open up here. Okay, so we had a huge 160 million, right? 160 million long trades open up at this high. Okay, it's a huge amount of long trades to open up here. Okay, of course, price started to pull back a little bit, right? This is a bit of a sign of weakness, right? Because what happens to all of these long trades up here? Of course, they are trap traders, and we can take a look here. The POC of the candles are very, very high up, right? So these longs have opened up at the exact high, right? So you can see 25 million there, 6.2 million there, 18 million, 14 million, 6, 3, 2, a million, 16 million. Absurd amount of long trades opening up here. Absurd amount, right? And is this a major sign of weakness? In my eyes, not necessarily, right? Not necessarily, because, yeah, right. If we continue to pull back and we continue to, of course, form this domino effect, and it's just longs getting stopped, longs getting stopped, shorting selling into more longs who get liquidated. and it's that domino effect, of course, right? So that's kind of what could lead to a big correction, right? But what we saw here was just a bit of a long squeeze, just a little bit of a long squeeze, right? Where you can then see price pulls back, open interest had a big decrease as well. You can see 9 million long trades got stopped out here, 8.4 million there. You've got 33 million there. You've got 21 million there. You've got 2.6 million there. Okay, and then you've got 9.5 million there. You started to see some shorts open up, and then when the shorts started to open up, you started to see, of course, that move towards the upside, right? But that in itself is a little bit of a short trade, a little bit of a sign of weakness, right? And that could have been a very valid short trade, right? You could have looked at a possible trade like this, right? With a very tight, this is a very nice trade, right? A very nice trade. I always like to look for at least 1 to 2s, and again, I highlight at least 1 to 2s. Okay, risk to reward ratio. So that would have been a trade in itself. Okay, would have been really nice. But then you can see, we've come all the way down, and it's like a 1 to 6, right? It's really tight invalidation on this trade. It's really nice to see. So it could have been a nice little bit of a short trade there. Okay, and this is kind of the move that I'd be looking for next as well, right? Of course, price is rising. I can't look for a long trade, right? For a long trade, I want to look for a bigger pullback. We will talk about that briefly as well, but I can only look for short trades, right? Because price is rising, and the only information I have above us, which is very little information, like I said at the start, there's no information up here. The only information I have is all-time high, okay, at 90,162, okay, whilst also having a major psychological level at 90,000 on the dot, okay, so we can even just kind of like mark that $90,000 level exactly right there, 89999, yeah, 90,000, right? That's a huge psychological level, right? So we've got all-time high, major pivotal high, we've got psychological level, right? And it's kind of just waiting, ready and waiting to see what the order flow is saying here, right? We're seeing lots of longs open up into this, and then are we seeing price reject? Okay, we're seeing longs open up here, and we're seeing price reject from this level, and we see that trade entry trigger. Of course, that can offer us a nice possible short trade like this. Okay, that's kind of how I would play it, right? That's how I would be playing it. Okay, but if we don't see that, right? If we don't see trap traders, because that's initially what I'm looking for. Again, I like to look for 3 things when entering into trades. Okay, I like to look for either trap traders, absorption, or mass liquidations. Right? In this scenario, I would be looking for trap traders. I'd be looking for what we saw here, lots of longs getting trapped at the high, price pulling back. They're of course squeezed out of the market. Okay, that's what I would be looking for a possible short trade. Okay, I like that area, right? Does it mean I'm bearish? Absolutely not. Because again, right, when I'm looking for trades, I'm looking for like a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. I'm strictly a trader here. I am not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not. Bitcoin's going to a million dollars, right? Strictly a trader here. Okay, and I'm strictly looking for trades. Okay, yeah, right. I've got the HODL portfolio. Okay, from much lower. Okay, that's of course paying really nicely, right? But here I am strictly trading, right? Strictly trading. Okay, so if I can look for a nice little bit of a short trade up here, okay, with a nice risk to reward ratio, with a nice target, okay, maybe like for a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 2, I'm happy with that. That for me is perfect. Okay, nice little 1 to 2. Take my profit, move my stop loss to entry, let the rest of the trade ride. Okay, happy days. If we go higher, fine. I've taken my profit. Okay, it's exactly like the trade that the short trade that I took down here. Right, it's exactly like the short trade that I took here. Right, when I shorted this high up here. Okay, a lot of stick for it. I there. The Wi-Fi. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully it's all good. Let me know if it's all good in the chat. But yeah, took a short trade here. Okay, what was the risk to reward ratio on this? Right, the risk to reward ratio on this one was a 1-4. Okay, of course took profit at like a 1-2. Yeah, move the stop loss to entry, risk-free trade. Right, completely risk-free trade. Absolutely amazing trade in my eyes. Okay, yes, it's a very controversial trade. Yes, a lot of people completely disagree with me here. Okay, but it's all about perspective, right? What is my perspective on this trade? What's the outcome for me for this trade? Right, the outcome is a 1-2 stop loss at entry. Let the rest of the trade ride. Exactly what I did. Took some more profits as we started to show some signs of strength down here. Okay, strictly trading. Okay, and it's exactly the same up here. Right, exactly the same up here. If I get a bit of a short trade, it doesn't mean I'm extremely bearish on the market. I'm just looking for a little bit of a 1-2 risk to reward ratio trade. That's all it is. If I hit that 1-2, I'll take my profit. I'll take my profit, move the stop loss to entry, let the rest of the trade ride. Okay, leave maybe like 20% in the trade. If it wants to continue lower, absolutely great, absolutely fine. Okay, I can continue to make profit as price goes down. But if we start to move up, right? If price started to, of course, move up and we hit my stop loss, which again would be moved to entry, okay, it's okay, fine. I've taken my profit. I've realized profit. I've moved my stop loss to entry, so there's no way I can lose money on the trade. It's just a free trade at this point. Okay, this for me is how I view things. Okay, this is exactly how I view things because this is what works for me. This is how I like to do it. Okay, just because I'm entering into a short trade at all-time high or looking for a short trade at all-time high doesn't mean I'm extremely bearish on the market. It's I'm looking for a trade here. Okay, just a simple 1-2 risk to reward ratio trade. Very, very simple. So yeah, just wanted to kind of clarify that because I understand, people watching this who, know how bullish the market is at the moment and is extremely bullish themselves, right? Are extremely bullish themselves, and they see me taking a short trade from all-time high, or for the previous example, taking a short trade a few $100s before all-time high. Okay, but you need to understand the context behind it, right? You need to understand the perspective I'm looking at it. Right? It's not, I'm extremely bearish, a bear market's coming, blah, 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 nonsense. No, it's, I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback here to get a nice 1-2 risk to reward ratio trade. Okay. What happens after that? I don't care. I absolutely don't care. Okay. Got my HODL portfolio that I built up from the bear market. That for me is 5-10 years in the future because I know where I believe Bitcoin is going to be in 5-10 years. Okay. That's pushed aside. But, right, for day to day, I want to be knowing, I want to be taking these types of trades. Okay. Of course, this, like, for example, this one here, that would have been a bit of a day trade, which would have been quite nice. This may only just be a little bit of a day trade. Okay. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Right. If the market is looking, looking good for day trades, I will take some day trades. Okay, of course, I prefer to take those bigger swing trades. Okay, it's just like how I prefer to do things. But if we get the trade set up here, okay, if we get the trade set up here for a little 1-2 risk to reward ratio, I cannot complain. Right, I cannot complain. It's just a bit of a it's just a bit of a short trade. Of course, I don't care what happens after taking profit. Now, let's say we did not get the short trade set up. Let's say, we just smashed through these levels. Great, we can look for higher prices. Absolutely. Absolutely, right? But yeah, it's just if we show slight signs of weakness up here, that's when I'll be looking towards a bit of a short trade. So that's it. And I mean, that little bit of a short trade, because we've seen this before. I shorted all-time high way back when, 6-7 months ago, whatever it is. And that was only actually a day trade, closed the majority of the trade, left a little bit open. But I took advantage of that big pullback that we saw because I held a little bit of that trade open. And, we could see a similar thing here where, right, okay, if I maybe get a bit of a day trade here, take some profit, leave a little bit left in there, right? Maybe we get this big pullback, which of course could offer an amazing long trade from down here. Let's say we come back to $76,000. I like the support down here at $76,000, maybe a little bit lower, even like $74,000. Okay, there's huge support in my opinion down at these areas. Okay, and of course, coming into this area, right? What can I be looking for? A long trade to take that to all-time high, if that's what price wants to do. Okay, but again, I'm going to be viewing it as a trade, right? Not I'm extremely bullish on the market, I'm never ever bearish, right? That's not how I view it. And exactly like this one, right? I don't view this as I'm always bearish, I'm shorting, I'm a bear, I'm never long. No, I'm just looking for a little bit of a short trade, okay, which could turn into a bigger short trade, which of course could then offer a long trade for a big long trade up to all-time high again. That's how I view it, right? That's the perspective that I'm coming at, right? So yeah, just wanted to clarify that because I understand coming into all-time high and me saying I'm looking for a short trade is very controversial. I saw the comments from this one here. It's very controversial. I understand, but you have to listen to what I'm saying, right? It's not I'm extremely bearish on the market, we're going to get a big pullback. Okay, I'm not going to get liquidated, right? It's a strategically planned trade, right? That's all it is. So okay, yeah, everybody views the markets differently. I get that, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for, right? So it's patience from here for me, right? That's all it is. Patience. Let's see what happens at the key levels. If nothing happens, if not what we want to see happens, i.e. smash through all-time high, okay, no short trade. We'll look for a short trade at higher prices, okay? Because at some point we're going to see a big pullback because we've had such a big rally. Of course, I want to take advantage of that pullback. So any slight sign of weakness, I'll take a little bit of a trade off of that, okay? That's how I view it. So yeah, I will leave that there. That's what I'm looking for. In terms of Ethereum, it's the same thing, really, right? It's the same thing. Patience. Let's wait for price to do its thing. Yeah, not really too interested in a trade on here yet, but we will see, right? We'll see how that pans out. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Any Visionary members, I'll see you in the Discord. So take care and see you later. Smash that thumbs up button and see you later. Goodbye.
Take me home, 'cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where